Hello everyone, welcome back to what will most probably be the last video of Conquests of Camelot. Okay, so, I guess our instructions are fairly clear. Last time the statue clearly told us that we need to go west, then east, then south, then east, then south, and then north. Seems kind of like a back and forth at the end there, like why go south and then north? I don't know, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And how are you supposed to know which directions are what? Well, you can use the lodestone. We do have our lodestone available to us, and it will again tell us which way north is. So here north is to the right, and our first move should be to the west. So we should go up. So we should go up from here. But let's just see, actually, just to kind of get an idea of what happens if we go in a wrong direction. Let's go down instead. Oh, does it actually not... Okay, it looks like it actually doesn't... that's interesting. How far will it let us go? Nay, you have chosen wrongly. The door has shut behind you, trapping you within a pitch-black hole scarcely larger than a coffin. And a stone coffin it is, for here you shall die all too soon. Farewell, King Arthur. Okay, so it doesn't kill you instantly as soon as you take one wrong turn. I guess it lets you do a couple of wrong turns before it kills you, but anyway. Okay, so just to save time here, so she said we need to go west, east, south, and north. So in terms of the way that the rooms flip around, because the direction keeps changing every time you go to different rooms, so basically what you do is you go up, up again, and then left, right, left, left. So up, up, left, right, left, left. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that rather than spend a lot of time with the lodestone here, because the meter is kind of running now. I mean, you're enclosed in a narrow tunnel within the wall. Inch forward carefully and test the floor as you go. It takes you in one direction. Let us hope you find an exit soon, for it is as cold as the grave, and the stone walls covered with something slick and unpleasant. The tunnel stops at a wall. Push, Arthur! Aye, it gives way into one of the rooms of the catacombs through a hidden doorway. Alright, here we go. Okay. The tunnel has brought you to this room. In the wall behind you, the hidden door seals. You cannot even see where it was. Okay, so we go up, and so we went up, and now we go up again. That takes us here. Now we go left. And now we go right. Again, it sounds like going left and then going right is just going back and forth. But see, because we went left and came out the top there, so going right is not actually a waste of time. It actually takes us somewhere else. So, okay, and now we just go left twice. So left. Once more, you are forced into a pitch-black tunnel that leads in but one direction. It seems an eternity before the tunnel takes a turning and things bring you to yet another hidden door. Push harder, Arthur. That's what she said. Aye, it opens as did the other one and returns you to the catacombs. That's what she said to Lancelot. As before, the hidden door shuts as though it had never been there. Haven't we been here before? Anyway, okay, and now, for the big finish, we go left. Heavy stone doors have sealed the room. Has the goddess trapped you, or... Nay, look! Secret stairs leading upward have been revealed, along with the skeleton of a warrior. Alright. Look at the skeleton. This poor warrior had his head split in two. He must have lain there for centuries. We shall never know his story. I guess that's his skull that fell down here. It was split in half by some powerful blow from a large sword. A helmet would have saved him. Can we take the skull for forensic analysis? Nay, let it lie undisturbed any further. The way is open. Press onward. Can we get this guy's spear? Maybe the spear will be useful? No, obtain only what you need. Your burdens are already great. I don't know if they're that great. I'm carrying... All these four things are pretty light, actually. Like the medallion I'm probably wearing around my neck, and then a lodestone, green apple, and dove I don't think are that heavy. Alright. Obviously, we go into that door that opened up there. And here we go. This will form the setting of the end of the game. The stairs bring you to the surface and into blessed light and fresh air. Around you is the ruin of a circular temple. Once there was a famous temple of Aphrodite in Jerusalem. Perhaps this was it. The marble stones are ancient and weather-worn. The marble pillars are toppled, and an empty round pedestal in the middle may have once held a statue or altar. Walls without doors or windows have been built entirely around the temple, right up to the very edge of the ruins. Alright. So yeah, this is 4 broken and fallen pillars, yeah. So this is the Temple of Aphrodite, and I don't think we can go this way. No, we can't go that way. There are basically 4 screens, so this is the lower right screen. This is the lower left screen. It's that pattern there on the ground. The spiral carved into the threshold is lunar. That is, it turns to the left and denotes feminine power and influence. Okay, probably because this is the Temple of Aphrodite. What's down these stairs? Just around the bend in the alley, there is a tiny grate in the bottom of the wall. Otherwise, there seems to be no windows or doors in these walls. So we can't go down or left from here. Look in the grate. There's a tiny grate or barred opening of some sort at the base of this wall. Okay, I don't think we can do anything with it. What have we here? There is a small window high in this alcove with a single metal bar across it. Oh, this might be the top of a buried window. Okay, this building is so old that it's like half covered in earth. It could be the head of a god, a king, a warrior. Who can say? Perhaps the entire statue is buried. We shall never know its strange story. Okay, so we can't actually do anything with the stuff here. This is just window dressing. So, all this is very nice, but what are we looking for? Here's your answer. We're looking for the Saracen, or Saracen. Infidel! You must defeat me if you would win the Grail. Here in this Temple of Aphrodite, we must match sword and shield, strength and skill, until one of us is dead. This is the final fight. Remember I said there's one last arcade sequence in the game? But I wish for an equal fight, and you do not have a helmet. Therefore I offer you one that is as strong as my own. Wear it or not, as you please. So we can take that helmet, and we probably should. Because remember, that guy whose skull was cut in half would have been saved by a helmet. But first, let's eat that apple. Remember we got that apple from the seeress, and she told us it would restore our strength? Well, considering that we're at the end of Arthur's long journey, and considering that we're dying from a rat bite, from an infected rat bite, and this will be a fight to the death, now's as good a time as any. In fact, now is the right time to eat that apple. He politely gives us time to snack on our apple before the fight. The apple's potent spell has relieved your hunger and thirst and given you a new surge of strength. All right. But alas, it cannot stop the poison of the rat's bite from killing you. It can only delay the final end. All right. So here we go. This is it, folks. We get that helmet. And the fight begins. There we go. Now, the way this fight works is, it's very similar actually to the Quest for Glory fights. So basically, you have your moves for attack. There's the high and low attack that I just did there. You can also do a strong attack like that. Now, honestly, this fight, the Saracen weakens under your skillful attack. Keep fighting like this and you will be victorious. Okay, so this is actually going well. It's actually going better than I thought it would. But this fight is quite difficult. Now, you can also repel the guy's attacks like that. I find at the beginning, what the best thing to do is to let him attack you for a bit and block his attacks to tire him out. Block a few of his attacks because he'll lose energy as well. If you, there we go, got him. Why did I not hit him that time? Anyway, yeah, so let him get worn out a bit. Let him, oh, you're overexerting yourself. Slow down or you will lack the strength to fight. The game actually does keep track of where people have been hit. So you see, he keeps hitting me in my legs, which you think might not be that critical, but actually, if he hits me enough in the legs, he will chop my leg off, and that will be the end of the fight. Or that. He cut my head off. You have been hacked to death by the Saracen. Let us hope you'll be a better swordsman in your next life. Well, okay. So this fight is very difficult. Now, to be fair, I guess it's supposed to be. This is the climactic final fight of the game. So, yeah, it's kind of expected, I guess, that it's pretty difficult, but we have, once again, the problem that this game's arcade sequences are really very tough. Like, they're so difficult that they actually, I feel like they kind of get in the way of the game. So, what I've done here is, I don't know if you noticed the game looks a bit different. I don't think it looks any different, but if it does look at all different to you, the reason for that is, for this video, instead of playing in regular DOSBox, as I've been doing for the rest of this Let's Play, I am playing in DOSBox DOM, which I often talk about because it allows you to use save states. And it just so happens that before the video, I took the liberty of creating a save state where I'm about to win. I just need to get one hit on this guy's head. Come on, I need one hit on this guy's head. See, he keeps blocking. That's the thing. It's like, if he has any kind of energy, he's really good at blocking your strikes. He is really darn good at blocking any attack that you might make. So you really have to let him attack you until he's so worn out that he can hardly move. And then take the initiative and whack him a bit. But you really need to be very careful because your energy is also very limited. And if you attack him too much, he will just, like, see, he's on the verge of death, and he's still repelling every move that I make. I need one good hit on this guy's head, and that's it, and I just can't get it in. Oh my goodness. I literally need one hit, and he's blocking every single attack that I make. Yeah, hitting him seems almost impossible. It's like he will always parry your strikes. So you really need to, like, he's hit me twice, and I don't think I've hit him once. He just keeps doing that. And I mean, I can block him too, but your sword feels heavy as lead. Defend yourself with your shield until some of your strength returns. Dude, seriously, I need one hit! I need to hit this guy once! Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. He just keeps hitting me, and I can't. You grow steadily weaker. Seek triumph from strategy, my king, as your strength wanes. Well, what kind of strategy am I supposed to use? He blocks literally everything. There we go. I mean, I can block too, but then it's just like nothing happens. Then it's just like we just keep whacking at each other and nobody ever gets anywhere. I mean, this fight, if you do it properly, there we go. Finally, holy cow. Wow, that took... You've killed the Saracen in a fair fight, and now his soul transforms into a dove and rises into the sky and vanishes from sight. Hey, that rhymes. Fight and sight. Now that the fight is over, the helmet also disappears. Yeah, that fight, man, it's... I feel that like the boss fights in this game are kind of like the boss fights from Deus Ex Human Revolution. It's kind of like somebody else designed the fights. Like one person designed the adventure portion, then somebody else designed the boss fights, and they just do not go well together. Anyway, okay. Speaking of doves, we saw that dove, but Aphrodite also told us that once we had attained victory using our sword and shield and whatever, we should use her dove. Well, this seems like the right time, so let's use the dove that we have, that we got from the statue of Aphrodite. The stone dove feels oddly warm. 'Tis changing! By the power of Aphrodite, it turns into a living dove within your very hands.
Follow my dove, and you shall have your soul's desire.
Okay. I guess, the logical thing... Well, how am I supposed to follow the dove if it flies up? I can't fly... Well, okay, I guess I just have to follow it to the... Alright, I can follow it to the left anyhow. Alright. Now it's going down, I guess. Okay, so we can go down from here. Oh, hey.
Where you stand, once my priestesses stood. My name was spoken with reverence. My statue and Holy of Holies were housed within, where only that bare pedestal remains. The last thing my worshippers would see as they left my temple was this leftward spiral upon the threshold, reminder of life turning ever onwards.
Except for people who die, and for whom life does not go ever onwards.
As with life, so too does power pass onward. Even gods and goddesses fall prey to the endless cycle. My reign here's ended. I shall never return. You have won the sacred cup by your determination and persistence, by cleverness and skill of arms. I surrender it to you.
Okay. I guess this is the time where we get the Grail.
But beware! The power of the Grail itself will pass final judgment upon your worthiness to possess it.
Indeed. So, now we found out, are we worthy of the Grail?
Start where you should start, turn as you should turn, and count the places of the pillars until you reach my sacred number. Beneath that pillar you shall find what you seek.
I'll explain what she means in a moment. It's a bit, it's probably a bit unclear what she means, but, alright, I guess that's it. Alright, maybe I should save the game here. Met Aphrodite. Okay, so, what is she talking about? Well, she was standing on this spiral here. So the spiral is carved in a threshold lunar. It turns left and denotes feminine power and influence. So you start from the spiral. You start from where she was. And don't forget to look at this spiral because you get points for doing that. So we look at the spiral. And it is meant to indicate that you move in a counterclockwise motion. So, she mentioned her number. What is Aphrodite's number? Well, Aphrodite's number is 6. I don't know how you're supposed to know that. I actually don't know where you get that, but apparently Aphrodite's sacred number is supposed to be 6. So what you do is you count the number of pillar positions. So you see like here there's an empty impression in the ground where there used to be a pillar here. So you count this as 1, even though there's no pillar anymore. It was, at one time, there was the first pillar here. So pillar 1, 2, and 3. Again, going counterclockwise. So we have pillars 1, 2, and 3 there. If we then continue, here we have pillar 4, pillar 5, And this here is, or was, it's the remnants of Pillar 6. And I remember I told you Aphrodite's number is 6. So let's have a go at it. And I'm just going to save again here. Looking at pillars. So you can, if you want, you can just push all the pillars. What you do is you say push pillar. This pillar did not move. Pause and think before your next choice. It seems like you can just push all of them. Like you can actually just go totally trial and error and just try pushing every pillar or every column in the whole temple here. And it just says pause and think before your next choice. But there doesn't seem to be any punishment for getting them wrong. So you could theoretically get like all of them wrong. But just in case we lost points for that or something like that. I don't think we did. But just in case, I'm going to restore. And I'll just go ahead and push the correct one because it's this one here. Aye, it moves. You have found it. You have found the Grail. One hand barely touches the sacred cup through a tiny gap in the white cloth that covers it. The Grail's power pours through you and restores you instantly to perfect health. So yeah, we're cured from that poisonous rat bite. This is where the Grail judges us. So if we had not saved all 3 knights, if we had not saved Galahad, Gawain, and Lancelot, then the Grail would kill us at this point. The Grail would kill us as being unworthy of holding it. But because we were valiant, because we did the right thing, we saved all our knights, even Lancelot, who was cheating on us with Guinevere, the Grail has judged us as noble and worthy to take the Grail. And so we are judged worthy, and instead of killing us, the Grail has restored us to perfect health. All right, so that was, I guess that was it. You're dazed with the Grail's power, but you must recover yourself and find a way out of here. Camelot must be saved before... Hey! The thief has struck against top. Where did you come from, you little... You despicable. Get back here, you! Thief! By all the gods, he will escape! With the Grail. Oh no, not this again. Nay, your god smiles upon you. His rope has broken.
Mercy, master, mercy! I am only a poor, miserable wretch. Have mercy!
Oops. Oh, he said something like, have your treasure, take your treasure, and spare my life. He is a pathetic creature. You must choose, Arthur. Either take up the Grail now in an act of mercy, or draw your sword and slay him. So... this is our final decision in the game, by the way. So, I appreciate the importance of sympathy and mercy upon people. And, just because somebody's a thief, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person. But the thing is, this guy has been a problem for not only for us, but for many other people. And the only reason why he's begging for mercy now is because he knows that we could kill him. So I don't think that he's really sincere, quite honestly. I don't think that he's really sincerely, obviously he hasn't had a sudden change of heart. He's just terrified of dying. He's trying to save his own life, which is not a noble act. I mean, it's not bad to try to save your own life, but to steal something from somebody and then just cowardly, like beg in a cowardly fashion like this when you get caught. Let's go ahead and put this guy out of his misery. I do not blame you for slaying him after all the grief he has caused you. The merchants of Jerusalem would no doubt thank you. At least the Grail is unharmed. Now you must move quickly to find Galahad and return to Camelot. Okay, so that's what happens if you chose to kill the thief. But, as it happens, you get 5... soul points, I think they're called. You get 5 of the soul points for sparing this guy's life. So even though I don't think he deserves it, even though I don't think that, well, you can say it's not for me to judge someone, but I would like the points. So in a totally selfish move, in a move motivated entirely by my own selfishness and my desire for 5 extra points, I will load the game and spare him. You can spare him by just saying, take Grail. So instead of killing him, you just take the Grail from him. By the gods, he has dared to stab you in the back. If not for your mail tunic, you would be dead at the hands of this foul dog. It is time to let the Grail decide his fate. Whoa. Oh, wow. And so he comes to the end he deserves. Now you must move quickly to find Galahad and return to Camelot. I guess this is kind of like that Christian idea that, the battle belongs to the Lord, that it's not for us to judge other people or kill people for their transgressions, that it's up to God to punish people. Problem is, it usually doesn't work this way. Bad people usually, or at least certainly often, do get away with doing bad things. It's usually, divine justice is not usually so quick. If it were this quick, then I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with saying, yeah, Lord, judge my enemies for me. I'm not going to do anything. But unfortunately, life doesn't always work this way, does it? All right. Well, that was that. We got 5 points for doing that. Now let's go ahead and find Galahad and return to Camelot. Come on. Hey, there's Galahad. My king, you have won the Grail. Aye, but rise, Sir Galahad, and draw near to your king at once. A great power is at work. The Grail has chosen to bring you home in your hour of desperate need. Hey, we're back in the chapel. The Grail has brought you here, Arthur. Only one god may rule in thy kingdom now. The altar of the Christ God awaits its vessel. Cast down your eyes. The radiance of the Grail is too great for any man to see. Behold, Mithra has been driven away, and the Grail is gone. It has become a healing force that spreads outward, touching every corner of your kingdom. The land returns to life. The lakes and rivers and wells fill once more with clean, fresh water. Water. Camelot is healed. And there's a boat. You receive Guinevere's praise and adoration, as you have well earned. Your knights salute you, and the joyous cries of the love and gratitude of your people fills the air. And so you have won through purity of spirit and heart, through skill and strength. No praise is too great. With peace and prosperity returned to your kingdom, you have the time to rest and enjoy the land you have saved. Does Merlin look like he's getting a bit drunk there? He looks like he's getting a bit tipsy on whatever he's got in that huge goblet there. Well, I guess it is a time for celebration. But though your land is healed, your heart is not. Perhaps it never shall be. Is that it? Arthur, are you not going to do anything about this situation? Like, I understand Lancelot is a gallant knight and all that, but wasn't it Lancelot's adultery with Guinevere that caused all these problems to fall upon the kingdom in the first place? Like, is just finding a cup. I mean, even if it is the Grail that Jesus drank from, is just finding that cup going to magically solve all the problems? But wait, that was it? That's the end of the game? Okay, seriously now. Arthur, you've got to do something about that. It's not even just for your own benefit. I understand. I mean, it's besides your own personal anguish. As I understand it, the reason why Camelot fell into decay in the first place is because adultery between the king and queen was tolerated, and Lancelot was allowed to just have his way with the queen, and Arthur didn't do anything about it. You can't just let these things... come on. It's not like finding a magic cup is going to solve all those problems of people's hearts and souls. Alright, well that's a bit of a Deus Ex Machina ending. Actually, it's very much it's very much a MacGuffin. I mean, the Grail is a total MacGuffin. It's pretty much the very definition of a MacGuffin. You find it and it solves all problems. It's just the one thing that solves everything, and the whole plot of the game hinges on it, even though there's really no reason for it to do so. Okay, that's our final score. Oh yeah, you might notice that we're missing a skill point. Well, here's something funny. I quote directly now. This is a direct quote from this game's official hint book. This is not from like some random website. This is actually from the official hint book for this game from Sierra. Quote, "The total of 368 skill points shown on the game score is incorrect. 362 is the highest score in the skill category." Now, I'm not sure what kind of crack they were smoking when they made this game, because obviously, no, 362 is obviously not the highest score in the skill category. It's obviously, obviously I got 5 points more than that. So, normally I would be a bit annoyed by missing 1 point there, but you know what? I don't really care too much. Whatever happened, it looks like there was some confusion even at Sierra. I think even the people who were tallying up the points in this game, like even the people whose job it was to make sure that the points matched up, even they had some kind of confusion and made some kind of mistake or something. So I guess, again, you have two problems here. First of all, because you have 3 types of points. You don't just have one regular adventure game score. You have 3 types of points, 3 categories of points. And secondly, you don't see them during the game. You have to keep pulling up that score menu. So I think there were just some problems with debugging or balancing the game at the end, and somebody missed a point or two somewhere. So, like I said, ordinarily I'd be pretty annoyed at missing 1 point, but you know what? I don't really care. I'm not sure that it's possible to get 368 points. And in any case, I couldn't find a walkthrough that talks about how to get that one last point. And like I said, the hint book for this very game, the official hint book from Sierra says the maximum skill point score is 362, which is obviously also incorrect. So I'm not worried about it. Everything else we did fine. We got the maximum wisdom and soul points. So yes, we're very soulful and very wise, hopefully. So soulful and wise that we continue to let one of our knights cheat with our wife and the queen. All right, and that was that. Yeah, DOSBox down doesn't always clear the screen properly. I don't know why it doesn't do that. Like when you go back to the prompt, it's supposed to clear the rest of the screen, but it doesn't clear it properly. If I say CLS, yeah, it's just not. I don't know why it doesn't clear it properly, but anyway. Okay, that was that. That was Conquests of Camelot. Thanks for coming along, everyone. So now that I've played this game, this is the first time in my life that I've finished the game. What did I think of it? I think my impressions are fairly obvious. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's a nice. I mean, it's a fairly form Sierra adventure. I actually get a lot of Quest for Glory from this. I feel like a lot of things that were in this game later served as inspiration for Quest for Glory 2. Like the whole sort of Middle Eastern setting, that whole marketplace setting and the music there, and that whole Middle Eastern thing, I think came a lot into Quest for Glory 2. The combat system, especially that last fight against the Saracen, feels like Quest for Glory 2 kind of borrowed a lot of its combat setup from that. And just a lot of the whole sort of feel of the game kind of feels like it was a little bit at least inspired by, if not borrowed from, the first couple of Quest for Glory games, which is not bad because the Quest for Glory games are great games. I feel like this was not as great a game. I mean, it's a good game, but not a great game. Again, the biggest problem with this game is just those arcade sequences. They are really difficult, and as I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I usually don't have a problem with arcade sequences in adventure games because they're usually very small little distractions. They usually don't last long and they're usually pretty easy. But this game had such difficult arcade sequences that they really feel like they get in the way of the game. And besides that, I mean, the rest of the game is, not bad, but would I play this game again? I'm not sure that I would. It doesn't feel like the kind of game that I'd want to replay, honestly. It's the kind of game where it's like you go through it once and you think, yeah, interesting story. The story is okay. Some of the settings were nice. I mean, the graphics are nice. Some of the music is very good. Like this game has really nice music. Has a lot of things going for it. But would I want to play this game again casually for fun? I don't think that I would, honestly. It just feels a little bit too punishing, honestly. There's so many things that you can do wrong. Besides the arcade sequences, it's so easy to miss a couple of points because you have to ask about all these things that you have on the screen. You have to do all these little things which are not obvious. Yeah, it just feels a little bit too punishing. I mean, Sierra Adventures always had a reputation for being very, very punishing on the player, but I think this one is especially so. I mean, this one I think is much more so than King's Quest or Space Quest or Quest for Glory or Leisure Suit Larry or games like that. I think those games were considerably more lenient on the player for the most part. So, good game. I'm glad I played it. And once again, thanks to you all for coming along with me on this journey. But would I want to play this again in 5 years casually to kind of relive some memories? I don't think I would. I'm happy to leave things at that. This has been Conquests of Camelot, the quest for the Grail. And with that, I close the back cover of this storybook, and this story is now over. I will talk to you folks later about some other games in other adventurous lands. Until then, thanks again for watching, everyone. Take care, hope you're all doing well, and fare thee well, and goodbye for now.